Jerry, thank you so much for being here.
Well, thanks for inviting me. Really
Well,
appreciate
of course. And thank you for bringing all these goodies.
that. Yeah, great. You can get a chance to try our A2 whole milk and our chocolate milk, our cheese curd, and of course I brought some, I feel they're delicious breakfast sandwiches that we make every morning at the creamery. We have several options, but that's one of my favorites. That's my own special one, by the way.
I love it. And the coolest thing for me about these sandwiches is that literally every aspect of this sandwich is local. It's from the English muffin to the peppers to the free-range eggs to the cheese. Literally everything is coming from the Finger Lakes region, which is so cool. So kind of talk about what goes into making these English muffins and the cheese.
So basically, in terms of our bakery products, the English muffins in particular is a real popular one. We have a local Mennonite bakery. They basically have a certified kitchen in their home, and they make those for us twice a week, so they're fresh. I think it's Wednesday and Friday mornings. You can come in and get it fresh, and they're plenty. You know, we get plenty of them. We get pies from them. They're all made from scratch as well, and lots of different kinds of bread. And we also do a fresh local ground whole wheat bread that's made from local grains as well. And then the cheese, of course, is produced by our farmers. The milk is produced by our farmers and processed locally. We're in the process of finishing out our processing plant. It's not finished yet. So currently we're using another local processor to make it, but we're using our own milk to make it. So it's our own product.
Amazing. And so Jerry, you being one of the founders, can you give us a little bit of the story behind how this all came to be?
Sure. Well, I started a business about 15 years ago, now it's almost 16 now, working with farmers in terms of soil and animal nutrition. And it was through that we saw a big change in the health of the animals and the overall health of the soil and the crops that we were producing. It was at that time we connected with some other guys that were farmers that were struggling to find milk markets for their sons. And so it was during this time we decided to kind of put our heads together and form this Sweet Acres Creamery to take our local milk that we were producing at in our opinion, at a higher level based on the soil and the animal nutrition that we work with, and then connecting them and getting some young farmers, hopefully in the long term, to get more young farmers involved in being able to dairy farm in a small way. We're working with smaller farms. There's 8 of us. We all have farms. We do different things. The milk that we use for the chocolate milk comes from my farm. This morning was the first time in quite a long time I took off from milking cows so that I could come do this interview. And then there's another farm with one of the other founding members, the Foss farm family down in Rockstream, that produces our A2 milk, which is the proteins in that are easier to digest, so people that have been lactose intolerant or have considered lactose intolerant or just not able to tolerate milk in general have been able to handle this milk. It's easier to digest, and because of the proteins and the way things are done there. The other part of it is the processing. We do not homogenize the milk. It's all just vat pasteurized. So the cream will settle to the top naturally, which is what it does in the tank. Fresh milk does. And so it gives you a little different taste, a little different, more of a fresh milk taste than what maybe you're used to buying just milk at the local store.
And so life as a farmer in the Finger Lakes, what is it like?
Well, it's challenging, but what I like about it is just the opportunity to be outdoors and just working with animals and working with the soil. It's kind of a unique opportunity, and I really enjoy that. I love cows, and we worked with cows for all my life, pretty much. So.
Speaking of cows, Paul, I don't know if you're able to pull up some of the pictures. There they are, little Jersey cows. Oh my goodness. I mean, maybe a silly question. Do you have names for them? Like, is there a name?
Yeah, so that cow right there, and the first one there, the closest one to us, her name is Juice.
What?
So, As you can imagine, we have some interesting names. We have a Peekamoo, and we have a sarsaparilla, and well, that's Peekamoo right there to the right, showing us her whole side view there. That's Peekamoo.
She's really strutting her
And then
stuff.
there's a Guernsey right there. That's Queenie, and she's a border cow that I take care of for someone else. But yeah, we have all different names, and we come up with some interesting ones.
Now, another thing that I wanted to touch on before I'm going to force Nate, very much against his will, to drink this chocolate milk. But another thing I wanted to touch on, something that has been kind of important to me in the past, is the ethical treatment of animals, right? So, you know, for me, when I'm buying these products, I know that I'm buying local. I know that I'm supporting local farmers. And I also know that the animals from which the food is coming these animals are living a vibrant and healthy life, which means something to me. So kind of talk about why these cows are maybe a little bit happier and why the ethical treatment of animals is more important to you.
Well, I think, you know, one of the biggest things for me is the health, of the overall health of the animal. That kind of comes to the forefront. And, you know, when we talk about that, an animal can look healthy, but doesn't mean it's always healthy, just like a person and so on. But how we feed these cows is really important. What they get, what they receive in their diets is very important. But also the fact that when you feed them those healthier diets, they tend to be more exuberant and more happy as well. And you'll notice the cows, you know, yesterday I had a cow, she was jumping around and twisting around and trying to roll in the dirt kind of thing, and, you know, kicking her heels up at me. You know, that's the kind of thing that to me is good, and it's nice to see that type of thing. And, you know, we like to pet them on the head and talk to them a little bit once in a while, and, you know, just see how they're doing. Sometimes they have to get scolded too, but
Oh no!
But it's, you know, they're almost like your kids. You know, you talk to them like they're your kids would be sometimes. Once in a while, you get one that likes to kick at you or something. You know,
What?
you gotta let them know that that's not okay.
So do you just like as if you would scold a dog? Do you just say like, no?
Yeah, kind of.
Stop it.
Yeah. But, you know, they become part of your family and part of you as far as, you know, that's concerned, and it's nice to have that opportunity to work with them. And you know, there's down days too, you know, when they get sick or something, you might, but typically that's doesn't happen very often, but once in a while you have to deal with that. But yeah, no, that's a big part of what we're doing, and, you know, really caring about them through their life, you know, depending on what they're being used for. You know, every animal has a purpose, and you just, you know, you deal with it with dignity and responsibility, and stewardship is really a big part of what we're all about too. So.
Oh, I love it, Jerry. So now, Nate,
Okay.
take a sip. It's my husband's favorite chocolate milk, and give me an honest reaction.
I love it. That's rich. I like that.
It's very rich, and so they use the A2 milk to make it, so it's really thick and creamy and
Well,
delicious.
this year is made with the Jersey milk, the rich Jersey milk, which is by and large, you know, a really higher nutrient dense milk as well, which kind of helps with the sugars, the sweetness of it, and so on. More natural, and it's really great.
You can definitely taste it. And so now, Josh.
Rebecca.
Okay. You tried for the first time these English muffins that I've been talking to you about for quite a while. You had your egg sandwich. What is your reaction?
It's really, really good. It's more so my first. It's all wrapped up really nice. Thank God it is, because I'd be wearing it if it wasn't. But my first reaction is you pull it out, and it's so much more than what you're expecting a breakfast sandwich to be. And yeah, that is an excellent egg sandwich. It's not one that I would probably want to eat every single day, but I would probably indulge more frequently than not if I were a little closer by. Definitely, it's really good.
For sure. And another thing that we wanted to talk about is the coffee that you have over there. Jerry, if you could just tell us a little bit about, I mean, not only are you doing all of these other things, but you're also kind of sourcing the coffee from a local company. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, so Generous Brands is over in Rome, New York, and I've been talked with them for a while, and I had an idea for a coffee that I really wanted that we needed a signature coffee that we could call our own blend that we sell in our store. And at Generous Brands, basically they have some, they work with people that are disabled or have some challenges, but they want to give them purpose to their lives. And so they do all the roasting and all the packaging. They do an excellent job over there. And they source all the beans from different farms throughout the world. And they even offer a triple, I think there's 3 different continents that mix that they do that we can get. But this one here is our signature blend. It's a mixture of Colombian and Ethiopian beans. They mix the beans together, roast them together, grind them together, and it makes a really great cup of coffee. One that you wouldn't necessarily have to put anything in it. Just drink it black. It's great.
It's very rich. And so for my final, I know we can't have a camera necessarily on Paul, but Paul, how's it going over there with your little food situation?
That's probably one of the best breakfast sandwiches I've ever had. So A1, I'm all aboard it.
And Paul's a breakfast sandwich connoisseur, so coming from him, that's good.
I mean, I don't know
high
about being a
marks.
breakfast sandwich connoisseur. Where did you grow up, Paul?
Oh, right here in Simon Falls.
Okay.
Yeah, but, went to college in Pennsylvania, so I have,
A worldly view of breakfast
yeah, I
sandwiches?
mean, when you road trip like I do sometimes, you're kind of forced into a corner every now and then, so.
That's fair enough. I consider myself to be quite the critique as well because I grew up on Long Island and we have a lot of independent delis there.
One thing I will say about the egg, it wasn't dried out, and that is probably my biggest pet peeve when it comes to egg sandwiches, breakfast sandwiches in general, is the egg dries out, and that was an excellently moist egg. So props there. That's really, really good.
Well, thank you so much, Jerry, for being with us here today. So that is going to do it for this edition of Finger Lakes Today. You can join Josh Durso and the rest of the team tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. But thanks so much for being here, guys, and I hope everybody has a great day.